And it only took 9 years! Western developed.
The American hack and slash.
Whoop whoop!
100 adventures! Woo! Yes, I finally made it to our friend of the base 10 system, 100. But along the way I had to ask, what qualifies as 100? My first 7 videos were Storm reviews, and it wasn't until that Manhunt 2 video that I decided, well, these don't really follow the traditional sense of review, and that's when adventure came into play. Should I count the mini-vids with the Wii Zapper, Les Paul Guitar, Star Soldier R? How about Storm's not really adventure? Should the number of games I played be a factor? I've done a ton of videos with 2 or more games featured. I haven't bothered to count that. Probably the most accurate count was done by Osama bin Guba of G4ZD Tech TV, and he had me at 100 back at Storm's Adventure with Cameo. So why is this 100? Only because my personal count is 99, so by default. Just a little bit of advice, go watch the previous 99 videos so you don't miss any references. And I would appreciate a bump in the numbers. Of course, you can play the Storm's Adventure drinking game. Every time I reference an old video, you take a shot of M&M's. Okay, the first candidate this time around is long overdue. It's time for the glorious return of the most important female in all of gaming, besides Princess Peach. Bayonetta! Bayonetta is an important game to me because it's the last time I remember being happy. The Bayonetta and Devil May Cry 4 adventure was the last video I completed before losing my job. For viewers of the previous episode, that's known as first work. The procedure there was I arrived in the morning and then left a few hours later with a box full of my stuff and a boot mark on my ass. Afterward, I made that Storm's Adventure with Unemployment video as a warning and the beginning of slow output. Fans were genuinely sorry about my situation. I did count 5 messages that said, "Screw you! I'm never watching your stupid videos again!" Okay. Then there were others who thought I could get by selling all the games I didn't want. So, you think Ninja Breadman and Anubis II are going to cover the electric bill? The legacy of that video lives on! I set it to private early on because I didn't like thinking about it. It wasn't until a live stream that Falling Death asked to see it that I caved and set it back to public. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you so much for calling it a new video. The new comments took a different tone. Everyone was yelling, "Patreon, duh!" Oh, you guys. Ever the optimist. You hear a few success stories about Patreon and you think anybody can do that. I do have a Patreon, and I've had it for a while. I'm just iffy about promoting it after that Indiegogo snafu. I took your money, and then production was deadlocked for 8 months. That makes me a liar and a thief. And, well, I'm wearing a $600 suit. Not the best position for sympathy. Bayonetta 2! Platinum Games brings us back to the wonderful world of Bayonetta after Nintendo rescues the franchise with a fat check, making it a Wii U exclusive. And it all begins with Bayonetta shopping. Chicks. Actually, it really begins with things were bad, then things were good, then things were blah, blah, blah. It's a funny intro with Enzo's loud personality clashing with Bayonetta's lighthearted, airy outlook. You know what I like most about Bayonetta? She smiles. She smiles because she's happy, which is really nice when you're coming off of... She's still a witch that heaven seeks to throw into the lake of fire for eternity. I learned here that she now also goes by the name Cereza, so I guess the little one was her. You gotta understand, Bayonetta 1 is impenetrable. Many playthroughs, still no clue. Jeanne shows up in typical anime fashion and expresses her concern over both sides of the afterlife being a little too quiet. Then angels show up, Rodin arrives, and thus begins my hands down favorite level of any hack and slash I've ever played. This is anime done right.
If there is such a thing.
Start the action and just keep going. The mechanics of the gameplay are introduced nicely here as I'm reminded everything is a combo! As it was before, you beat up the angels and they drop halos. New is Umbran Climax, which isn't a new concept. A meter that fills up as you fight, and activating it when it's full puts your power level above a range that Vegeta can't believe the scouter is reporting. You of course put the smackdown on the Heavenly Force, but your own Wicked Weave strikes Jeanne, knocking her soul out, and she is dragged to hell. And the overall mission becomes clear. Bayonetta has to find a way into hell and rescue her fellow witch. I'm still a little unclear on the purpose of creating and animating a zillion combos. That will just lead me to jam the Y button. So strategy comes more out of positioning, jam the Y button after jumping, and timing your dodges, jam the Y button after jumping, and before and after entering witch time. I suppose you can say this game is won and lost in witch time. Dodge an attack just before it enters your personal bubble, and you get cheap shots at the enemy for a little bit. With some bosses, this is the only way to inflict damage. You need to learn this. What I appreciate about Umbran Climax is it's not necessarily a one and done. With enough upgrades, you can actually stack climaxes and regulate the flow. Save them up for a boss, or use it on the spot, or blow it on a single execution to cut down on fight time. This adds a level of strategy that really takes you into the combat and truly think about how to take them down. Let me state right here that I am not a hack and slash nerd. Honestly, there are better resources for that. I would describe myself as a casual enthusiast, you know, with my God of War trophies. Here is what I walk away with. Dodging is better than blocking, save your burnouts, and chain combos together by firing your blue guns between enemies. Here's a touchy subject, changing weapons. I played through the first game, bought new weapons, never saw a prompt to change them, and complained about it. The general reply was, "Push the back button, retard." Well, excuse me. I don't envision weapon selection as part of an ancillary options menu, so I never bothered to push a button with the connotation of driving me backwards. But don't you remember? I still like the game. If gameplay can rise above a terrible interface and cutscenes that just beg to be skipped, shouldn't that count as an extreme plus? So considering the cutscenes in Bayonetta Deuce, did I skip these? Well, they're not intolerable like before. I'd encourage you to stick with them as they may clear up some of the mystery clouding the story of the first one. I still don't understand how this time travel business worked. I guess this kid's white cornrows can generate 1.21 gigawatts! By the end, you'll see the sequel is also acting as a prequel, in a twisted way. Bayonetta 2 picks up where Bayonetta left off and ends where Bayonetta began. Ain't that strange? Bayonetta 2, more than most games, brings the replay value. By grading your combat across all difficulties, I found myself playing levels over just to see if I could get a better reward. To put it in a quote, it's a franchise made for girls. That's why my channel rules. I set up jokes and take 6 years to tell the punchline. But I'm not the only comedian around here. One of the votes was from YouTube user The River Anduin. He insisted I include a joke about the single-handed stylus control option in the game. Smiley. Okay, here is where one-handed gameplay is necessary, freeing up another hand. Hey, stop! Get that out of your mouth! Put the dog down! I really enjoyed playing Bayonetta 2. It's a welcome return to the crazy Japanese million combo homogeneous blur of sexiness that I truly missed. When the game ended, I looked for more stuff to do because I didn't want to stop. And that's when I came across the platinum ticket in Rodin's Treasures. It's gonna cost a lot of halos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on, that's like the quintessential Storm Dain Productions joke. Now go for platinum! Alright, let's collect some halos. Get it? Because the game's name is Halo. Stop it! You're embarrassing yourself! Future Storm? Well, I did it. I got over 10 million Halos. It wasn't that hard. Just had to play Chapter 14 like 50 times. Seriously. What do we get for this bounty? The Platinum ticket buys you a fight with Rodin, and then it kills you in 8 seconds. When will I ever learn? Never go for Platinum! Don't worry, he gives you the halos back. While we're on the subject of Bayonetta, a college friend sent me a message on Facebook after I posted the Bayonetta and Devil May Cry 4 video. He wanted to rebut my statements on worthless dialogue. He's an anime sympathizer. I read 2 sentences and I decided, you know what? This is worthless dialogue. And I deleted the message. I win! But now he works for Google. Okay, he wins. Another tidbit about that video, and rather recent. Just this year, Yam112003 Endemol filed a copyright claim against it for the use of the DMC anime footage. Okay. 2 thoughts on that. Gee, did I not give enough credit? And, gee, that sounds fake. I mean, should I fight the claim? I could argue fair use. I could also get my channel deleted. In the end, I settled that, screw it. You can have my 13 cents of ad revenue. Now on to Dante's Inferno. Just in case you didn't know, Dante's Inferno is actually a piece of Italian literature. I was considering transitioning here to talk about other classical literature like Beowulf, but it would take me like 3 paragraphs to get there, and it was just an excuse to make the nipples joke again. That's a double reference, 2 shots! Okay, Dante's Inferno. First of all, you can drop the Dante. The name of the poem is just Inferno. It's part of an epic poem trilogy with Purgatorio and Paradiso. You can see the naming conventions in Bayonetta and Doom. The name of the trilogy was The Divine Comedy. I think Star Name Productions has a new tagline. The author of the poem was the Italian poet Dante.
Mario!
So saying Dante's Inferno is like saying Stephen King's The Tommyknockers.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm pulling all this from college memory. The Divine Comedy is author insertion in the 3 afterlives. In Inferno, Dante takes a leisurely stroll through his idea of the 9 levels of hell. He is guided by the ancient Roman poet Virgil. Why? I really don't know. He is making this trip to find his hopeful girlfriend Beatrice. The game's Dante is a soldier in the Third Crusade killed by an assassin,
Mario!
who then defeats the Grim Reaper and takes his sight. Upon discovering his dead girlfriend, Beatrice, he runs straight to hell to rescue her. Okay, once you swallow those razors, the game is surprisingly accurate. Dante travels the 9 levels all the way down to the head honcho himself. We have Limbo and the City of Dis, both are referenced in Doom. Doom also had the Tower of Babel on Deimos. Forget about it. Also included are the historical figures written into the poem at their appropriate levels. I was proud I knew who Pontius Pilate was, then it was a run of Italians I never heard of, until, at last, I found Judas Iscariot right outside Satan's door. Before we look at the actual gameplay of this actual game, I wanted to say that I'm proud of the way that I handle games that I review. I try to read nothing about them, and I shy away from other video reviews. This way I get to learn about the game in solitude and not form a prejudgment. Also, watching video reviews makes me sick with jealousy. Really. That stuff gets millions of views? Pardon me, I'm gonna go make toast in the bathtub. With all that said, have you noticed that Dante's Inferno plays a lot like another game, sorta based in spectacular mythology? The control scheme is incredibly similar too. No, don't say it. This is Visceral Games, the dudes who brought us Dead Space, a game that totally didn't remind me of Resident Evil 4. Dante's Inferno is an American hack and slash, the kind that forms combos by spamming one of a few buttons and does over the top with quick time. We get extremely gory and pretty disturbing imagery. I don't want to spend too much time comparing it to the obvious inspiration because I think that discounts the achievement that Dante's Inferno is. And Dante's Inferno is a tight, very fun, and dare I say, a visceral rampage through the Italian literature. Buying and upgrading combos is done with the expected point system, but you can get there faster by doubling down on the absolve or punish paths. You could call it choose your karma, and considering the subject matter, you would be damn accurate. But really, going holy or unholy won't change your outcome. I mean, you're already in hell. The difference lies in what combos you can unlock, and that's a matter of preference. I guess I'm neither positive or negative about this good or bad, just a firm neutral. Plenty of wandering souls for practicing the combos, but the variety wears thin rather fast. Good thing dispatching them is fast and fun. The quick attacks look just as impressive as any other American hacker. The strong attacks you really have to commit to because interruptions come hard, and if you aren't interrupted by the enemy, you will likely blow right past the special kill prompts for more karma points. Oh, we have puzzles. I would qualify them as puzzles, even if most boil down to do this before doing that. I've been through enough magical visual basic rooms to appreciate a single, simple if clause. What do we really want from this genre? Some big freaking bosses. Visceral may have expanded the role of the bad guys, but it translates into a good challenge. Yes, Severus was written into Inferno, they didn't steal ideas. Some of the bosses took a while to figure out. I battled a minion army for a good 10 minutes before I figured, maybe this is an infinite thing. Try something else. My only other complaint about the bosses is the momentum is sort of lost in the second half and the numbers petered out. Saint petered? Yeah, dude was the first pope. I'm not censoring these boobs for the traditional reason. Trust me, uncensored is a horrific sight. Much like Jesus, I wept. Was that an early software requirement? Disturbing nudity? Because I saw something near the end that shocked me. It went further than any other game. Okay, I know how to word this. 2016 was the first time Storm saw cock in a video game. Yeah, jiggle physics and all. Let's stop talking about this.
Vaginas.
Sorry, what I meant to say is Dante's Inferno stands on its own as a brutally entertaining hacky-slashy, and since it isn't God of War, I don't have to complain about another trip into hell. Whoops, I wasn't supposed to say that, game. I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying we are going after Lucifer. That's kind of a well-known destination in the poem, and I honestly respect the studio for calling the enemy out by name. Not the icon of sin, not him, not I go by many names, it's Lucifer. However, Lucifer in Hebrew is the morning star, and on Earth, the morning star is Venus, and Venus is the Roman equivalent of Aphrodite, so the praise falls apart fast.
So, why Dante's Inferno? This is Telestrom what to play and nobody asked for it. Well, it was the American hack and slash that I was going to play with the original Bayonetta.
Well, at least I still get to play a game with a character named Dante.
Ha! Another 6-year punchline! Kind of. No kidding, Dante's Inferno arrived after I committed to Devil May Cry 4, and I only had Devil May Cry 4 because of the Game Crazy going out of business sale.
Here's Dante, screwed up cover and all. Who knew that a lame eBayer could forever alter the course of my adventures? But I can continue to make connections beyond two Dantes. Both Bayonetta 2 and Dante's Inferno center around intentionally going to hell. The fan of anime I ask the opinions for games, his name is Virgil. And I know a guy who worked on the same floor as the EA Visceral team. Yeah, he made this logo. Well, we have effectively come to the end of the double review, and to repeat the formula, which one is better? Come on, is there even a contest here? No offense, Dante's Inferno, but you have fallen victim to the heavy rain ginger theory. I was playing sexy hotness, and then you show me your wiggling thingy, and it had veins. Oh fucking god! I really want to stop talking about this. But deeper than that, I remember Bayonetta was once just a game I was looking at on eBay because I figured it was some hacking fun. Now as a Wii U exclusive, I have to care about it. I showed my support by pre-ordering and picking up day one. The first edition of Bayonetta 2 came with a copy of the original Bayonetta ported to Wii U. What a friggin' steal! I also bought the Private Player's Guide. It's so beautiful, I didn't want to take off the shrink wrap. After that venture made no money, Nintendo printed up new copies, dropped the price, and dropped a Bayonetta. I have 3 of these. Yeah, I'm doing it again. Bayonetta made me break my vow of DLC poverty, and I threw money at Nintendo to get the bundle in Super Smash Bros. Bayonetta is now my main, and when that Bayonetta amiibo finally hits the store shelves, well, I'll be clearing those shelves. You see, the idea is to deficit fund Bayonetta 3. Back to the first point, Bayonetta is a very important game to me, and bringing it to the Wii U made it so much better. It might seem minor or merely cosmetic, but that Princess Peach costume just pushes this game beyond greatness. Holy fuck! Just look at this. I can't explain how this moves me, and I've never felt this way playing any other game ever. This is why I've come to the conclusion that this is my favorite game, like, of all time. Of course, nobody believes what I say. We all know Storm Dain lies his ass off. He lies about what game is next, he makes up reasons to not like Gears of War, doesn't even call it Gears of War, rates sex minigames, criticizes comic book stories but has never read a comic book, calls off Call of Duty then considers it 8, announces series that never happened, he's sitting on a bunch of Dreamcast games, buys new consoles then asks for money, and he hates on games that give him the icky feelings and fills his head with hurt. Well, believe this. All my other purported favorite games can piss off. Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U is my favorite game of all time.
Whoa, 100 adventures! Stop it, you're embarrassing yourself. Future Storm? Yeah, I am Future Storm. I escaped the infinite time loop and I'm back.
Now upon the time in which we break dance.